Hey guys, last night as the new Helldivers 2 patch dropped, I just so happened to be running a few missions with some friends. So, of course, we did as all inquisitive nerds would and exited the game, allowed it to update, and immediately started testing the new changes. For those who don't know, allow me to summarize. The new changes broadly altered the Terminid spawn rates at difficulty 7 and above. In short, they're allegedly spawning less Bile Titans and charges, but instead replacing them with additional chaff or add spawns of smaller to mid units. Additionally, they've specifically referred to the charger leg meta, but instead of nerfing it by reinforcing the leg, they've fought back by weakening the head. The idea is that you can now one-shot charges to the head with the trusty recoilless rifle or anti-tank launcher. I don't want to just rant at you guys in this video, I want it to be a conversation, so make sure to let me know your impressions of the new patch. Just keep it civil, as when we load out against the filthy bug or socialist bot, we're all one and the same team. Team democracy, baby. Hoorah! We tested difficulty 7 because to me, that is an extremely key difficulty level in Helldivers 2. It's where the super uranium sample starts spawning for the first time, meaning that the game functionally forces even casuals eventually start attempting this level, which means that it must at least be attainable. In the original balance of the game, difficulty 7 was where I played when I wanted the ideal balance of fun and challenge. I could comfortably do it in a duo while still enjoying myself. Difficulty 8 was where I played when I wanted to challenge myself a little bit, and 9 was of course where we went for the endless waves of enemy reinforcements. In my mind, that was actually a great balance, so long as you didn't cheese the game mechanics. If you stayed and fought and did all the objectives, the original difficulty curve between 7 and 9 was actually quite fine for the vast majority of players. The devs disagreed and said that these were too easy and too many people were clearing them, and of course channels like myself and others have told you our thoughts about balancing an entire game based on a handful of people cheesing endgame meta, but we won't get into that here. Nonetheless, difficulty 7 based on the game's own mechanics has to at least be somewhat manageable. So we dropped in to see what was what, and expectedly I got a little silly and immediately tried to see how many slugger shots it would take to take down a spore spewer at 168 meters. Alright, Slugger kills it. Half a mag, it turns out. The first charger was upon us in around 40 seconds, which is certainly manageable. I made the mistake of bringing the Flamethrower because that, aside from the exosuit, is the current meta for downing charges, in case you didn't know. Flaming the leg takes them down reasonably fast, but comes with the caveat of setting everything, including yourself and your team, on fire. I really don't enjoy this playstyle because, as you can see here, if you dodge, due to uneven terrain, the game can ragdoll you, have you land on inflamed ground, set you on fire, then not give you the ability to take a stim as you roll. For the next mission, I'd load out with the recoilless rifle to try the new head weak spot, but for now, the idea was for us to stomp the game using mechs to close all the bug holes and get out of dodge quickly to see how quote-unquote easy difficulty 7 could be. The mechs can essentially cheese Terminid eradication missions. The first thing I'd notice is that the chaff and ad spawns had definitely been cranked. There were scavengers and hive guards all over the place, making it challenging to actually land rockets into the bug holes as they kept coming out as I was about to close them.
There is a lot of fucking shit there.
Coming. Bombing.
Freedom marches on. Thanks to you. You may proceed.
3 minutes in, and we got our first Bile Titan, which my 500 kilo bomb inexplicably didn't take out. Throwing a 500 kilo on him.
Throw me on him, fuck it.
Oh yeah, eat that shit, baby. You're fucking me. We closed the bug holes super fast, but got caught up in reinforcement waves, which was more on us rather than just beelining it to the other objectives or the extraction. That said, the reinforcement loops and patrol spawns are still largely as they were. Patrols are constantly popping in all around you, and many times I literally saw them spawn in right in front of me, as we've talked about at length before. Check this out, in another mission, as I assault a lightly defended point of interest, 2 chargers literally just spawn out of the ground. 2 chargers just came out of the ground. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see something like this, I just want to exit the game and find something else to do, like fill in spreadsheets. It so fundamentally destroys the suspension of disbelief and the rules of the game world. This, of course, caused a breach which then spawned another 2 charges immediately after the first 2 were dispatched. This is after a patch specifically addressing the charger spawn rates went live. The amount of units overall felt fine for the difficulty, but the way they spawned in and reinforced was still more annoying than fun. There was one point toward the end of the mission where we were dealing with a Bile Titan which just wouldn't go down when the game spawned another on us from off screen as part of the same engagement.
Oh
Are you
my
kidding me?
God,
There's another one?
There's two
There's one
more.
behind us, yeah.
And a meteor storm now. Don't stress, boys.
I've got a 500 kill I can throw down, but
And a
I
fucking
really
charger.
like that it's 2 Bile Titans and a fucking charger at the same time. That's my favorite thing.
Yep. And a meteor just killed me. One shot.
For me, it's not so much about the quantity of enemies, but how the game RNG just decides to pop them in all around you, and this new balance update clearly hasn't altered the calculus there. To top this off, we of course got a meteor storm while trying to kite these guys as our bomb cooldowns ticked over. Now, it's all manageable, whatever, but it's fundamentally not fun waiting for your cooldowns to tick over while kiting hordes of these guys around. The playstyle itself is laborious. The chaff unit levels went ballistic as we were extracting, which I actually thought was kinda cool. It really ramped up the whole Starship Troopers fantasy. I just hope our frame rates can survive it.
I love throwing it on the ground and it just...
As the game went on, I found myself increasingly frustrated, not because it was difficult, but because it was annoying. It was just kind of not fun to play. The good news is that the recoilless rifle does take charges out with one shot to the head. The bad news is that you still often have multiples of them charging you down, and the recoilless takes around 10 years to reload.
you can go down there.
Alright, I can get behind this. I can get behind the recoilless. Oh, fuck
Another
off.
one right behind him.
I need the head. Show me the head. Alright, he's down.
In the holdout mission, we got 2 Bile Titans within 40 seconds.
Drop my fucking suit on it. No, don't kill my mech. It killed my fucking mech. And there's the second one.
In the end, we completed all missions successfully, and the overall degree of challenge itself wasn't that bad. Again, it was just the annoying nature of spawn-ins that made the game laborious to play. This leads me to believe that there is far more at play with the mechanics, fundamentally how the nature of patrols and pop-ins are handled. This patch is probably a step in the right direction and should hopefully mediate some of the worst issues keeping people away from the top difficulties, but I think a far more fundamental rethink of patrol spawns and breaches is going to be required in the mid to long term. Also, is anyone else bothered by the fact that in the intro cinematic a single rocket launcher headshot took down a Bile Titan, while in the game you get this?
Did I not just shoot it in the face with a fucking recoilless?
I actually quite enjoy the role of being a heavy anti-tank gunner, packing a slugger and recoilless rifle. It's just that, on top of being a thankless task, the reload speed and ammo economy versus the amount of heavy units you encounter still doesn't fully make sense. That said, has anyone tried using the new railgun against the Charger's head after the update? Is it viable? How many shots? Let us know down below. I'll of course be keeping my eye on the state of the game as it develops. This is by no means a comprehensive review, but more of an initial impressions of the new update, playing with some very casual friends. The new difficulty 7 is very manageable, the unit proportions make more sense, but the nature of spawn and pop-ins still have me very much scratching my head. It creates an odd cadence to gameplay, which makes combat profoundly unsatisfying. But what are your thoughts? Let me know if you've tested it, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when we do our stress test of the upcoming cutting-edge Warbond coming before the end of the week. See you then.